Hello and welcome to another Docker tutorial. We're continuing on with our volume series, and today we're actually going to be looking at Docker volumes, Docker volume CLI, how to create Docker volumes. Docker volumes are a bit different than the bind mounts that we used to use, because bind mounts, they're more of a way to link our host directory into the Docker container, while volumes are actually being saved on our host machine, the hard drive somewhere, and they're not easily accessible from the host system. Okay, let's take a look at how we set up our volumes first and foremost. So to list the volumes that we currently have in our Docker setup, we can go Docker volume. Actually, let's take a look at the help. Over here it shows all the different commands that we can use. So for example, in our case, to list, what we have now is ls, and here I have a bunch of different volumes, including the intermediate volumes that I had from before, the different projects that I was doing. I'll have to clean these up later, but right now we're going to create one of our own volumes for our tutorials. Let's go ahead and do this. Docker volume create, and I'm just going to call this as something like volume tutorial. The volume has been created. If we list it, you will see it on the very bottom here. It says volume tutorial. Let's continue. We are now going to create a container which will actually use this volume. So we're going to go Docker run. We're going to create another Debian image-based container, like we did in our previous tutorials. So I'm going to use it in detached mode. I'm going to give it a name of vol_tut, and I'm going to give it a volume, the volume that I just created here. Make sure that you use exactly this so that there is no typos or anything. I'm just going to copy and paste it. So the volume name in the beginning, colon, and then the location inside of your Docker container that you want to use it for. So in my case, I'm going to create some sort of new, I'm going to call this in the root directory of my Docker container, tut volume. Okay, this is going to be my directory inside my container. Now next I'm going to enter the image name. This is Debian 10.4 slim, and then the command that I need to run to prevent the container from exiting right away. Oops. There we go. And let's run this. So the container has started. Let's list our containers. So we have this running vol_tut container. As you can see in my Docker directory that I'm in now, there is no directories to mount into this Debian container. Let's go inside this Docker container and see what's in it. Docker exec-ti, and then we're going to go into this vol_tut and bin bash, and let's list what we have here. See, in my root over here, I have tut volume. This is the one that has been connected to the volume that I have saved inside of my Docker setup on the host system. Let's change into this volume. Take a look if there's anything in it, and there is nothing in it. Let's just create some sort of file. And now we have a file inside it called some file. Now let's exit out of this and stop and remove the container. So now, as we can see, the container is stopped and it is removed. If I run with -ps-a, there's only our old Jenkins container sitting there, which isn't actually running at this time. So Our container has been removed. Let's create a new container, but we will use the same volume over here. I'm just going to copy this command so that I don't have to retype it all over again. But I will change some things around here. So I will call it vol_tut2, and then for volume tutorial I'll keep the same volume name, but over here for tut volume I will actually just change it and use a folder called tvolume. Let's start this container and see what happens. Docker ps container is started. Let's go inside it. Docker exec -ti vol_tut2 and then bin bash. We're logging into the shell inside the container, list what's in it, and over here you see we have tvolume in our root. Let's switch to it and see if there is a file in it. So let me just change first, so that you know that I am actually inside the folder. And let me list the contents of this folder. The sum file is still in here. So it took the files from inside the volume that we had, this volume tutorial, volume, and it linked it towards this path that I defined over here. And any other image that I'm going to connect to this volume and the path that I'm going to define is going to have access to these files in here. I hope that helped you out with these volumes and understand how to persist different files when you're using Docker containers. Thank you for watching the video. Like, comment, and subscribe, and have yourself a good day. Bye-bye.